But for those deaf athletes and fans, the thrill of competition is just the same.
The fans wanted a way to kind of forget about that, have some fun before, during, after the game with a tailgating experience. It's essentially like having a living room to tailgate in outside of Williams-Brice.
There are plenty of ways you could describe Jaden Cox's Saturday night. How about the coronation of the King? Sounds about right after he got national title number 3, adding that to his Olympic bronze medal.
We measure progress in the physical. Height, weight, strength. Kim Welch measures progress in time.
You only got so many times on this, almost so many days on this earth that just make each day count.
When he's not teaching in Moberly or watching his favorite show, American Ninja Warrior, he's working out as an escape from the uncertainty of not too long ago.
I just got to where I was just pretty much skin and bone.
My first thought, which is a horrible one, I thought bone cancer.
For 2 years, Kim was left confused and frustrated as his body broke down.
When it got to where 5 pounds was just excruciating, just on the pain.
At one point, it was almost like seeing an 80-year-old man walking around in a teenager body.
The pain too much for him to even walk UMKC's campus, forcing him to leave school.
And it was just kept on getting worse and worse. And then it was that point, was like I said, probably my lowest, and I just was preparing pretty much to pass on at that point.
When we started really pushing to get into Mayo and all, was when Kim, even though it happened, excuse me, when he came to his dad and I and said, "What's going to happen to me? How am I going to take care of myself? You all won't be here forever." That was getting to be my concern. What if he goes before we go?
I definitely never gave up hope, but I'm pretty much ready to die.
We literally would almost have meltdowns at night going, like, God help us. Please guide us to the right doctor.
Finally, after countless doctors and tests, the family's prayers were answered. Among other problems, they learned he had osteoporosis, a treatable condition.
I looked at it every day kind of going home, and I was like, yes, finally get back in the gym. Try to...
And Mom and Dad...
We have him back.
...got back a boy they hadn't seen in years.
We thought, oh my, he's going to have a life.
All of Kim's hours at the gym now serve 2 purposes: do what once seemed impossible and inspire his students by trying out for his favorite show.
Say like, hey, my teacher, he's on American Ninja Warrior, and it's not some person like, oh yeah, someone in Missouri, they're on American Ninja Warrior. Like, no, my teacher is on American Ninja Warrior.
It's the next goal in his long journey back, as he measures progress not in his newfound strength, but in the distance it took to get there.
It's dangerous to be driving around right now, but it's been dangerous for the Missouri basketball team to travel on the road all season long. Bad news. They travel to Arkansas tomorrow evening, and like car tires today, head coach Kim Anderson is on thin ice.
And I know you were telling me earlier that you're going to have a Mom Appreciation Night tonight. Can you tell us a little about that?
Well, it's an idea that we stole from Coach Rulo at Elias, but we're going to recognize our mothers.
You want to take a look inside this one? It's basically like you have a little living room here to be able to tailgate in. Very unique.
They're used to seeing a sea of red rooting against a team in blue, but today we're going to see a sea of blue rooting against a team in red. Of course, referring to the Cardinals-Cubs rivalry usually played out here at the ballpark.
Fun to sit by the plate. That's why I like sitting on the bench. It's a hard job.
My wife likes to try to dress us alike. I don't have much say in that.
I would just say, well, then be one. If you want to, just sign up and get one.
thankful, we're positive. And then he went on to say, it is the ACL. She tore it good. And then I'm like, what? And I could hear Paige just start to cry. It was awful. It was awful.
But Ian is not like most players. He only has one hand. A single finger on his other hand has to make up the difference. As for Devin, he seems to speak the teenage boy's universal language and has his priorities all sorted out.
School comes first, basketball comes second, and the girlfriends are last.
When he called it quits, it was his son that was his partner in his final game.
Actually, he hugged me before the game starts. Usually you give that fist bump, and he gave me a hug before the game starts. I'll always remember that.
In the first half, absolutely lights out from long range. Let's rattle these off here. First quarter, it's Lindsey Cunningham from deep. Missouri led by 1. Then it's Lindsey again from behind the arc. She gets that. Give them 8, and they wouldn't stop there. Sophie again. That's 9. And Sophie one more time for good measure. That is 10. 10 for 13 in the first half alone. They are going to win in walk-off fashion. They run onto the field, but hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. Not so fast. We got to take another look at this because as the ball skips off the wall, it appears to go over the wall. Take a look right there. It hits above the wall. Should have been a ground rule double. The Reds would come out and try to challenge that play, but they were told that the game was over and the Cardinals will gladly take that lucky break.